Welcome back everyone. I'm Jewel and we're in the Giants editor today, and I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to prepare your map to be a blank map, a clean slate for you to build your own map. And so I'm going to go ahead, and I've already made a video about how to get a sample mod map, but I'm going to go over it a little bit. So go ahead and do it so you can see in this video, because it kind of all goes together. So in my case, I already have this one open because I'm going to work on this one I made. But what you would do is open up the Giants editor here. Now these would be closed. You don't necessarily need any maps open in there, but I do because I'm going to show you something in the video. But in my case, you would left click on it once if it's in the taskbar here on Giants editor, or if it's in the desktop area, you would double click on it to open it. And in my case, I'm going to have to right click on it and then open the Giants editor, left click on that, and then it'll open up to this. And once it does, click this off, X that out. Then you're going to want to go to File, New Mod from Game, and it's going to pop this up. You're going to open the list of the item and pick the map you want. Now I think that the Felsburn is map 1 and US Ravenport is map 2. So I'm going to pick 2 under that assumption. I believe it is. So then you click OK. Now in this case you could leave that and it say just that, but I always like to go ahead and name my map when I come into this. So come all the way up to the /. Don't take the / away. You need it. And then you basically are left clicking at the end of it, holding the left down while you move over, and then letting go of it when you get right where you want it. Now I'm going to name this test just so I know what it is. Okay. Now that'll be considered my map name. So you don't want to name it something like that. You're going to want to name it your map, whatever you want your map to be called. So put that there. Make sure that the / is there. Don't erase anything else. Then click OK. It's going to make the map, the mod map. It's going to take a second. All right, this is Ravenport. Okay. See, it says Ravenport here. The other one would have been Felsburn if you want it. Now, what you want to do is, see, you got all this stuff here, and yeah, you're going to need some of it, of course. But there's a lot of stuff you're going to change. You're not going to leave it the same. You're going to be doing a whole new map pretty much. So what you want to do, since you can get all this stuff from another map and bring in here when you get ready for it, you don't panic about deleting it. So I'm going to delete most of it. I'm not going to delete everything. Some things you're going to need, but we're going to keep, obviously, the camera thing, sun, terrain. We're going to keep you could keep the map boundaries if you don't want to fight with it, but they're going to be obviously the way that they made it. So if you don't want to fight with making map boundaries and you're okay with where they've got it, leave that in there. That keeps your player from running off the map in game. And you need the career start, so leave it. That's the career start. And then you can delete this tour icons. You can delete that because you can export them from another map and import them into this map. So we're going to go ahead and you highlight it. You left click on it and highlight it, then click delete. Now I'm going to leave the fields for now. Usually most people delete all the fields when they leave one, because you need one to be able to duplicate from. But in this case, I'm just going to leave them all for now. I'm going to leave this field, border, helpers, collisions for now, since it's connected to that. Then you need to leave your gameplay. It shows your vehicle shop, and that's what loads in vehicles and things you buy, and you need that because you're going to be testing out whatever you put on the map. So if you do something and you need to go in game and buy a vehicle to test it, then you need to be able to have this in there to be able to test it. So we'll leave gameplay. I'm going to delete splines because that's just where the people walk and drive, the cars drive, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to delete that. So just highlight it, make sure that's the only thing highlighted, click delete. Alright, placeholders is here. This also has a lot of the stuff that you're going to need to be importing. You could probably leave it and just drag it over to where you're at. But for some reason, I think it's best if you delete it and then bring it in as an import. Export it from another map and import it into your map. So I'm probably going to delete all of that, and I can also get all of this from another map and import it into this map. So I'm going to delete even the player's farm and all of it. So we're going to go ahead and click on this placeholders. It's got all the splines and stuff in it, so we're going to delete that. See, it's even got the trigger spline. Looks like this is the shop one, or let me see which one that is. That's the vehicle sell point one. We don't have to have that one yet. I'm not going to be selling anything, so I'm going to delete it. But as long as I have the load in part where you load in the vehicles, that's fine. So we're going to hit delete after we've highlighted it. Make sure the whole thing's highlighted. Hit delete. Now that's gone. Now I'm going to delete lights because I don't want all these lights right now. I can bring them in later. Don't panic. Delete. I'm going to delete ghost lights. Delete. Particle systems. See, this is going to be like waterfall stuff. You can delete that and still bring that in from another map. So delete. And the water planes, I'm going to leave in this case. If I'm going to change the edge of the map, then you would delete it and you would have to go through the whole process of getting water planes and stuff to be the right, shape and stuff. So it depends on how much you want to do to get the map a certain way. But if you're okay with what's around the edges of the map and you just want to build on the middle of the map, then leave the water planes, in my opinion, if you don't want to fight with all that. Okay? Now, obviously, some of the water planes are going to be like in these certain areas over here as well. So if you're okay with that, then you can leave them. Otherwise, delete them. So in this case, I'm going to delete it and just have to worry about adding water later. So we're going to delete it. Alright, so all that's been deleted. So now this is the backdrop. So let me show you what that is. Look at the edges of the map and you can see the mountains. If you don't want that, you can delete it. In this case, I'm going to leave it because I don't have anything else already prepared for the edges of my map, so I'm going to leave it. And you can always adjust it, and you could drag it around and move it to wherever you want it. It don't have to look exactly the same. So we're going to leave the backdrop, and obviously if you click ocean, you'll see that the little boats and stuff are highlighted. You can delete those if you want. And then big BG Mountain US, it shows you the whole thing there. If you open it, you got the north one, it shows you this little small one. So then you could delete that. Of course, if you delete the whole backdrop, it would delete everything, all that, and the boats. So we're going to leave that. And then we have all these trees. See? So we're going to delete that. Alright, and now all we have left is Ravenport in general, which is everything. House, all the buildings, all the little things. We're going to delete that. Alright, so now that we've deleted everything just about, you can see the bare bones of the map. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of these fields on the map, and also to make the map flat and to paint in grass on the map so that you can start from a completely blank flat area with just grass. Then you can paint in what you want after that. So, and obviously you could leave these, you don't have to make it flat. If you want to leave some of it and then you just change some of it, you could do that. You could leave it with a little bit of this texture that they have and just add to it, build it up, lower it, whatever, and change it that way. Or you can make it flat and do it all from scratch, which typically most people want to put a I believe it's called a height map in there, and do it that way. So that's what I did on my Jules Peaceful Valley map. So what we're going to do is go ahead and make the map flat. Okay, so you're going to click on the terrain sculpt mode up here at the top, and you're going to drag this up. If you don't have these, you need to click under, if you don't have these boxes, click under Window and open the Scene Graph, Attributes, User Attributes, and Terrain Editing. So just click once on that, then go back to Window, click on Attributes, go back to Window, click on User Attributes, go back to Window, click on Terrain Editing. That'll open up these boxes. See, it says Terrain Editing. Now we're going to pick the square brush type. You can choose a round or square. I'm going to pick square. Then we're going to click on Replace. Okay. And let me see, what do we want this to be at? I'm going to say 80. So you're going to, see it's at 55 right now. I don't know what the highest spot on the map is. Let me see. Once you click on Replace, you need to hit Control R with your little and point your cursor somewhere, and it's going to tell you how high the highest spot is. It's 111.99.6. It's got a point there. So I'm thinking about 80. Somewhere in there, I'm going to put it at 80. So we're just going to put in this replace box, make it 80. Okay, so that when I make this brush size bigger by adjusting the radius here, let's drag it over. Okay, so let's put it at, let's just type it in. Let's put it at 1,000, I guess. We just need it to be big. Is it gonna go? There we go. Now it's big. See it? See how big it is? Now we're going to press the left mouse button. Since it says LMB replace, that's what we want it to say. We have it set for 80, so it's going to go to the level 80, and we're going to left click and do it gently, because if you have a slow computer, this could crash your computer because it's got a lot to change all at one time. So be careful. Do it easy and gentle. Don't jerk it all around real bad. If you have a slow computer, it'll jam up. So give it time to do its thing. So press the left mouse button and just gently move it, gently move it, gently rotate it around. We'll have to change our camera view in a moment so we can see, but we're just holding down. Alright, it says an unhanded exception occurred. Press abort to terminate the program. Retry the exit program normally and ignore to try to continue. Just give it a second to catch up. It's just a lot moving at once is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to click on the terrain scope mode to turn that off for a minute, and then I got to rotate back so I'm not quite high enough where I can get it all in one go. So I'm going to get this half of the map, click back on terrain scope mode, and just gently hold the left mouse button and gently move it back and forth so that you can paint over it. Well, you're not painting it, but in a sense you are. It's the way that you're moving it. And you're going to you have to turn it off to move the view. So you turn off the sculpt mode, and then you can rotate yourself around by holding the right mouse button down and then turning the mouse around, and then click it off again, right click, hold it, and then move, then left click on the scope mode again and then hold down left while you're making it level. Now everything's flat and we're all good. So now we're going to turn that off, and we're going to scoot over a little bit. Try to see most of the map at once. Alright. Back out till you can kind of see it a little bit. Alright. There. Okay, so now we need to to do two things. First, we're going to change the there's bushes on the map. I guess I should scroll in, or I could show you on my other one. Let me click over here. I'm going to click on my test one and show you what I'm talking about. If I was to scroll in on the map I'm on, you would see these little bushes. Okay, and in order to get rid of them, you need to scroll down to foliage layer painting and put it on bush US01. Okay, it's gonna put this in the number 4 checkbox. You need to click on foliage, terrain foliage layer, foliage paint mode, excuse me. Click that on, and then put your little cursor over it, and as long as your brush is on subtract under the, say, the LMB or whichever one you're pressing, because you could put it on any one. You can choose which one you want to say add or subtract, but in my case I put it on the left mouse button, subtract, and then you just click on the bush and it'll take it away. So what you would want to do, it also takes away the grass, like the grown grass. It don't take away the other part. Let me show you. It leaves this part. It just takes away the actual growth of the grass. So you can leave that if you want and just do the bushes, which would take forever, or you can do it all at once. So what we're going to do is go back to this, and we're going to, and it could let me put it on subtract and come down to this foliage layer, put it on bush US01. We're going to turn this to nothing, put the texture layer on nothing, and then we're going to click on the foliage layer and see what happens if I do it like this. Okay, so now it's working. You can hear it moving, so I gotta go slow so it don't crash anything. So I've left clicked, left clicked, left clicked, and it should have took away all those bushes. So do it very, very carefully. I'm not holding the button down long when I do it. I click it and let it go. So it should be all gone. And now I'm going to click back off of that foliage layer, and I'm going to zoom on down, roll in, and you can see the bushes will be gone. So I'm trying to get in where you can see it. Alright, now the bushes are gone. Okay, and all the grass is gone, which is fine because we can make it back, so don't panic. Alright, so now we need to get rid of the fields. So you're going to pick the paint texture, detail, texture paint mode, and you're going to put your thing on add on your brush and on the left mouse button preferably. Then you're going to take under texture layer painting, click on it and put it on rough grass or grass rough. Then you're going to, you can turn the paint thing off a minute to back out. Which I think we need to subtract the fields away first. Let me see something. Let's try that. Let me hit on subtract first and just test it. Put it under the paint thing and then hit subtract. See if it takes away the fields. Okay, I think I gotta change something. Hang on, I need to change. Go back down to the where you put the bush thing. Put it on terrain detail. Alright, and we might have to put it on foliage. Alright, let me see. Okay, put it on foliage. Okay, yeah, there we go. So when you put it on foliage paint mode and you have it under terrain detail while you have it on foliage layer, and you have it on subtract, okay, those three things, then you hover over this whole map where the fields are and click the left mouse button gently, and give it time. You gently move it, and it'll erase it. You can hear the computer working really hard, and so I'm doing it a couple of times to make sure I get all of it. Alright, now I've gotten all of it, so turn off the foliage layer or the paint mode, and now we need the grass. Okay, it's already on grass, so now we need to put it on add for the left mouse button, and then we'll click on the paint, terrain detail texture paint mode, and then we're going to hover over it and left click, hover over it, left click, hover over it, left click, hover over it, left click, and now we have a completely flat map with green grass type texture. And of course it's not the kind that, we haven't put the stages of growth in yet, but you will. That's just like a little camera so you can see, and there it is. See, it doesn't have any kind of growth of grass or anything like that. You can add that later, but I'm not going to show you that right now. I just wanted to show you how to get your map ready after you've imported it. And of course you can delete those ships if you don't want them in there right now, but basically there you go. This is from scratch, and you have all your stuff ready to go, and then you can start building and shaping. You can do you're gonna scroll this wheel down to a proper size. Of course, the best way to do it is to put it up here and just put 56 or something to get it back down. There you go. And now you have this, and then you could change it to round brush and start sculpting with the sculpt. You could sculpt it. See, that went down, or no, that went up. See how it's going up? You could sculpt it, or on another episode I'm going to probably show you how to get the height map in here to make this ground turn into whatever height map you choose for the ground to be shaped as. And I'll show you an example right here. This is mine, and you can see all the details to it. This is not the Ravenport shapes. This was a random height map that I added this part by hand, but the rest of it, except for where I flattened it and stuff, was all the shape of the real terrain that a random one that I just chose to put in here. And of course I'm going to have to flatten some of it because it's a lot of hills. But you can pick a random terrain, or you could pick one that's specific, but you got to know how to do it. And you can put it in the file, and then you'll have it'll automatically make these fields for you. But I'll possibly show you that on a future episode. But I just wanted to show you how to make a flat map, and I'm going to click undo. Of course we're not going to keep those couple of little changes there. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Stay tuned for more map making, and I appreciate all you new subscribers. Thanks so much. Goodbye, everybody.